Welcome everybody. Just reading the chat there. NTM. I just gotta say, man, like you must have like a pussy kind of ear. I'm just saying, like, get some better taste in music. That's all I'm saying. Just better taste. But I know you're a kid. It's all right. You're gonna grow into it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I still love you all the same. I really do. Welcome everybody to another Appreciating Comic Book Art live episode. This is part 5, I believe. We're gonna be talking about one of my favorite artists, which Dale Keown obviously was one of my favorite artists, but we are going to be covering my absolute favorite artist, a legend, a master of his craft, probably one of the best artists of his generation, a great storyteller. I'm talking about Marc motherfucking Silvestri.
You know who this is? Oh, this is Marc motherfucking Silvestri. You know who this is? Oh, this is Marc motherfucking Silvestri.
I play it twice, you know. He says it himself. You know what? I was looking at the streams from last time, and I realized I never said my name one time, like who was hosting the show. It was just like we jumped right into it. So my name is Joe Sontag. Man, that sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. I'm gonna do the Out and Stuff intro. I think is what I'm gonna do. All right, bear with me for a second. I'm the very talented, the very sexy, the very distinguished, always narcissistic but never vain, staunch defender Rob Liefeld, Gina Carano, and a lover of all things 90s. Joseph Michael Sontag, or Joe M. Sontag if you prefer, or as the Pope likes to call me, JMS. Welcome to the show, and as always, what a fucking awesome show that we have for you tonight. Damn, I fucked that up. I knew I was going to. See, without Sean next to me, it's a hard thing. Let me say hi to the chat real quick before we get rolling. I don't know who was here first, but NTM, if it was you, thanks so much. I know my name is too damn long. I'm gonna change it. Everybody bitches about it. I'm absolutely sorry. Sorry. Robert Shepard, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Snuggy Jr., what's going on, man? Chauncey, definitely a big Silvestri fan in himself. I knew you were going to be here. This is going to be fun, man. I'm really looking forward to doing this. Nicholas Gear, what is going on? Good to see you. Let's see. Robert Frank, thank you for checking out the channel. Appreciate it. Sorry about that. Paul, what's going on, brother? I know Paul was showing he's got a bunch of Darkness books he broke out for this, so this is gonna be fun. I could definitely look at a lot of awesome art. Crazy Mad, what's going on, brother? Billy, what's up, man? How you doing? Old Dirty Fatty, hey, we missed you at Browners the other day. I'll say that we were looking for you. Didn't really know what you look like, but we were looking for you. Missed you there. MD Dangerously, good to see you. Thank you for showing up. Jaru, I don't know if that was loud. Sorry about that. You got Amanda B. How's it going, darling? Good to see you. All right. Thank you for pouring in, everyone. We really appreciate this for another awesome episode with some great art. I'm going to bring on our guests here. First, I'm going to bring up is my brother in arms. You all know him from the Odd Stuff show, Mr. Sean Ahrendt.
What's going on, brother?
How you doing? What's up, Phil? Good to
brother.
see you, man.
Go,
Good
Phil.
to see you. Got Mike McMahon in here too. What's going on, brother?
Mike.
Hope everything's going good. Derek Clay. Sorry, I missed it. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. I really do. Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Selfish plug. Put
There
out
you go.
all the Type 1 preview books in the mail today, except for one.
Oh,
That's international, but everybody should be getting them hopefully within the next week or so. So thank you all again for supporting the preview book for Type 1. And
Yeah,
look
that was
forward
awesome.
to your thoughts and stuff.
and of course we've got another master of the craft, a master of the pencil and ink himself. He can do it all. and everybody wants his talents right now. He is a hot commodity. I'm talking about Mr. Shelby Robertson. What's up, brother? Or as we like to call him, Snark
Snark Milvestri.
Yeah, there you go.
Phonetically correct.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, Chauncey.
Yeah. Anywhere fun. Yeah, so I'm gonna change the length of my name on YouTube just for everybody that's bitching about it. I'm sorry. I thought it was good advertising, but apparently if you want to tag me in the chat, it's a lot to type out. So
It's a mouthful.
It is. My bad. So we're going to be looking at Marc Silvestri's work. We're going to look throughout his career. We're going to start with some Uncanny and go all the way through, late 90s, early 2000s. But one of the reasons why I really wanted to get Shelby on here is he's a big Silvestri fan, just like me. And I always kind of thought that, your style resembles a little bit Silvestri, kind of how you render. I mean, there's a bunch of different artists. You can kind of see the influences there.
Yeah.
But there's... you definitely kind of get that feel, and one of the reasons why I enjoy your art so much is because it just kind of gave me that familiar feel when I first started looking into your work. So
yeah, Silvestri on a monthly basis. I love it on a consistent basis.
Silvestri, who
thank you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to switch my camera here, and we're going to get rolling. I'll let you guys talk for a second. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, man?
Did you think about that when I sent you that joke?
I don't know what it is. Is the joke the meme?
Well, it's
I was trying to figure it out. I didn't Google it. I was going to Google it to cheat, but I couldn't figure it out. I was like, wait.
Hold on. I'll get to it.
You can say it in chat. You can say it in chat, right?
No, well, I'll just say it here because
it's one of those dirty jokes that's going to get the stream taken down.
No.
No. It just it threw me off. I was like, is the joke the meme?
What does a deaf gynecologist do?
What?
Reads lips.
Oh man!
Right. You need a button for the Gong Show.
Yeah, I do. I need to download whatever it is. Some guys have like a soundboard or whatever they use, and it's got like all the fancy sound effects. I need to find that. I'd have a lot of fun with that. But
hey, can I do a weird flex? Can I do a weird flex before?
Absolutely.
So you want to put me full screen? I don't know how to put myself full screen.
There we go.
All right. So as you know, we're here for the mighty Marc Silvestri. And I just want to share with you, according to Marc, I brought this book to Marc in 2014 at and Sean might remember the show, the final Amazing Arizona Comic Con run by Jimmy J.
Oh yeah.
And Marc was a guest, and he was doing sketches for $50, right?
Yeah.
And so I found this book in a quarter bin, and I brought it to him. And Marc's words to me was, "Holy shit, where did you find this?" And I just said, "Oh, it was a deal." I didn't tell him I got it for 25 cents, right? And he goes, "I think this was my first thing published." And so I grabbed a CGC rep and I had him sign it.
Oh no shit!
And it's a cover. It's a cover to Warp Special 1983.
No shit.
Inked by someone named Patterson. I don't know who that inker is, but yeah, this is Marc's apparently. But I just think it's awesome because this right here screams darkness.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel
you know what I'm saying? Like the way that he would do the underbites and stuff, even with the Inferno books. So
yeah.
But you can definitely see this. He was telling me this preceded his work on Conan and the Giant Monolith.
I was gonna say it has to because I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's actually any like intrinsic value to this, but it was just cool that I found it.
Oh,
and the signature is what got me. The art style doesn't look like his that much, but the autograph is what I was like. There's no way that's Marc. There's no way, So I was like, 25 cents.
Yeah, the old way. It's funny looking at his signature back in the day before he started doing like what he was known for. Which you'll kind of see on this Uncanny X-Men. You can see It's got, well, maybe you can't, but yeah, it's got his old signature on there. But yeah, I wanted to start early in Mark's career, and I wanted to pick Uncanny because, to be honest with you, like I really didn't. I didn't get into comics until like I didn't get into comics. You know what I'm saying? Until like the early '90s, and by that time I was enthralled with Image, right? Like just, and so I had to go back and collect all the back issues of all my favorite artists at the time. And one thing that I never got into was Mark's early run on Uncanny, because it was such a different kind of feel than what I was seeing at the time with like Cyberforce, and then when we get into Darkness. But I wanted to look at it because it kind of really gives a throwback to when a penciler was the storyteller and the inker kind of dominated a little bit. Because if you, I mean, and granted, this is back in the day, so you're going to see Mark kind of finding his way, but he was already a very accomplished storyteller and penciler back then. You can see stuff within the art. Let me make. I almost forgot to do that. Hold on a second. There we go. You can see stuff in his pencils where you can see Mark. You can see where he's going to grow. But I would definitely say that I think, who inked this? Dan Green. I think he inked a lot of stuff on Uncanny.
Yeah, he inked a ton of Mark's work.
Yeah, but I would almost say like this early stuff, I think I see a little bit more Dan Green in here than I do Silvestri. And I think it's just the era that this was in, Shelby, right? Where you had a lot more of embellishers, right? Than tight pencils.
Yeah, and I believe he was like a brush inker too, so that changed a lot of the dynamics. I've seen a lot of the pencil. I've seen a lot of pencil photocopies from that era of Uncanny, and I don't think the inks really did it justice. You know,
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, like Mark's pencils from there compared to the Darkness era were
right.
Very similar, a little bit difference in the rendering, but the underdrawing is almost like exact. Like he was very consistent.
Yeah, I mean,
Dan Green don't do anything for me personally.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing too. I never really liked what he did over Mark's pencils. And granted, I like the more rendered version that Mark would eventually get into the 90s, and then obviously what he evolved his work into later on in his career. So looking back at something like this where there's not a lot of rendering, very kind of wide open, more based on the storytelling. It's still really good. Don't get me wrong. You can still see Mark in here. You can still what he's going to become. Still an awesome artist.
Yeah. These books here is sort of like a it's like a Mark Class A 101, like kind of what, the underdrawing of Mark and all that. But like you said, the embellishment side of it was like, I think Dan Green was getting, he had a lot of respect for him. And Terry Austin as well. Like a lot of people revere Terry Austin as like a very like good inker. And it's like, my opinion of that changed. I used to think the same as well, but my opinion changed as soon as I saw, who was it? Alex Garner inking Art Adams. As soon as I saw Alex Garner inking Art Adams, and I'm like, this guy's inking the same pencils that Terry Austin was getting, pretty much. Gotcha. And so you could really see the level up with the fashion forwardness of like 90s inkers, like the care they put into it,
Yeah. A little more technically solid. Like Austin was more artsy with his lines. Like I don't want to say he took it over, but you could tell in art.
Yeah.
Austin compared to a Dan Green,
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, because I mean, you look at some of these pages here, and you see Mark very much drawing in kind of like the classic style, a little bit more grid. And when you get to Wolverine, you see him break out a little bit, like he was noticing what some of the guys like Lee and Todd and Liefeld were doing, where they were kind of branching out more, doing a little bit more like anchor panels and stuff like that. Where you look at this work, it's very, the old storytelling, splash page, then gridded out, right? For most of the book.
You got to remember too. Claremont is a very dense writer.
Yeah, that too.
A lot of panels, a lot of script. Right. And also, Mark was coming up on the coattails of John Romita Jr.
Mhm.
And if you saw John Romita Jr.'s Uncanny books, in my opinion, it's my favorite work by John Romita Jr. besides the Kick-Ass books. But that's kind of what he was coming up behind. So he was like, that was where the bar was. That's kind of the way I look at it.
I feel you on that. Absolutely. Takes a second for the artist there to kind of like break into their own style and break away from what is popular.
Yeah.
I mean, he really made the reason why I wanted to bounce around a little bit and do Uncanny and then do some Wolverine before we got into like my favorite era of Silvestri was to see like the growth in his style as far as what he was adding into and what he was experimenting with. And you saw, I think you see a definite giant leap from Uncanny to Wolverine, and it's the same. I think he's still. Green.
It was
Green and
Florida. Yeah, I was gonna say he still suffered from the ink side of it with this. What he was doing with his pencils though was he said it openly. He said as soon as he saw what Jim Lee was doing, he literally jumped on the wagon. He was like, "This stuff's amazing," and then he started taking a lot of Jim Lee's and making it his own. He added it to his arsenal. Yeah, and you can see it in the lines, but it's just Dan Green didn't know how to handle that style, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great point. And you're saying Dan Green was all brush, probably old school.
I'm assuming. I'm assuming from the line weights and the way that a lot of the dollops and a lot of the line weights, like in the middle of the line, it seems like a heavy-handed stroke versus a Hunt 102. Like a scatter type style that like a Joe Weems or a Bat does, more of a scatter type approach. Yeah, so yeah.
And there was a brief time where he was implementing a lot of Mignola as far as his figures and all that. Right. It's cool, don't get me wrong. But then like once he's like, ooh, Jim Lee, like I think
he was because Mark's really early work was essentially he was I'm not going to say a clone, but he was heavily influenced by John Buscema.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
And Buscema had a ton of books out, so you can see it in the females' faces. Like Mark put his own spin on it, but those are totally like Buscema faces, like the females.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Mark ended up drawing the best looking females in comics.
Oh, he did too. Oh man, I mean, no joke in that. Like, I know Turner came up and was doing his thing, and he drew some great looking women, but Silvestri still, hands down, probably draws the best. Beautiful looking. I mean, he draws very attractive men too. I mean, like just in general, he draws attractive people, like in his books.
Well, he was a bouncer at a bar, so I mean, he was a bouncer in a bar, and when he was trying to break into comics, so he, anyone that doesn't know, Mark is like 7 foot tall, like he's a huge guy.
Oh yeah, it's crazy big. Dude's a giant.
Yeah, so he was around that. Like I kind of see that in a lot of the females, like the way that he'll dress them, like Dazzler and stuff in the Uncanny books. It's like he saw a girl at the club dressed like this and just stored it in the memory bank, man. Like you don't just make that up.
Right.
Snuggie Jr. said better than Roquefort.
I guess that's subjective.
Subjective, obviously, but I would say hands down, I still would put Silvestri up at the top when it comes to drawing anything.
Here's where I put it. And so I look at it as the school of Mark. Anyone derivative of Mark is usually at the top of my list. Okay, so people who are literally derivative from Marc Silvestri's style are Roquefort, Mike Turner, David Finch, Brandon Peterson. I mean, and then obviously the inking talent he had: Billy Tan, Joe Weems, Matt Banning, Jason Gorder. Anyways, I'm just name dropping, but anyways, like anyone that kind of came up under his tutelage, I think they learned a lot. There was a lot to learn there. So
I think I've had this discussion on some of my other pre-recorded videos I put out before, but I always jumped back and forth between Jim Lee and Marc Silvestri and who drew the better Wolverine, and I'm pretty sure I'm solidly set on Silvestri, even though Jim Lee did a really good job. But there was His Wolverine work was just awesome. I mean,
There's a little bit of his own, like Jim Lee's is John Byrne, but cooler looking. Like
right.
Yeah.
Silvestri's is his own, with his own influences. But like, yeah, I could definitely get behind that. That Silvestri draws a cooler looking.
Yeah. Mark understood the grit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim's was clean. I mean, he had that clean style too, though.
Yeah.
Everything that Jim drew was glitter and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad thing.
No, right. Yep.
It was just a different flavor.
I think that's what made Mark stand out for me after, because I grew up like a real big fan of Jim Lee. He was like one of my first favorite artists, and I gravitated to Silvestri later on, even though I knew who he was. But I really started getting into his stuff because some of the stuff he was doing in the '90s reminded me of Jim, but he just had a different feel to a lot of his line work. Especially the Ingers he was working on. It just stood out more to me.
Even his smaller, simple characters, like look at Jubilee in the background there. For a character that I absolutely hate, she looks cool as hell right there. Like right. I'm just saying. I'm just putting this up. And there's covers on the Uncanny X-Men books where he was drawing characters that on an original would be about maybe 3 inches in size, and it's a full body, and they look awesome. Like there's something about the way he approaches scale that just works really well. Whereas a lot of other popular artists, they focus on the big shots because they don't really know how to handle the small stuff,
Right.
Yeah, and it's funny because drawing small is not the easiest, and drawing really big is not the easiest. But if you're good at one of them, you kind of lean one way or the other.
Yeah, we all find our sweet spot.
I'm not the best at drawing small. That's something I've had to work on.
Nobody
is. Yeah, if I want to do like a far panned out, shot, it's not my favorite to do. But I'll try to tackle it the best I can.
I draw it, then reduce it, and crop.
I really like about the Wolverine books here. A lot of the designs you see are starting to kind of really give a feel of what you're going to see in Cyberforce, specifically since Cyberforce was something he originally pitched to Marvel,
right?
For being more in the mutant world.
You heard the story of that meeting?
Yeah.
Where they were telling him to shut up. They were telling him to shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark was trying to pitch Cyberforce as like this, almost like the Reavers. Like it was like some like derivative team that was affiliated with the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And they already knew they were heading out to do Image, so they were just kind of telling Mark just to like shut up and can it. And ultimately, Marvel was like not interested. They were like, no, you're just a penciler of books. Like they didn't care. They didn't want to hear his ideas.
It's surprising because after the success of like X-Force and the rest of the X titles, you would think that they would be like wanting to jump on, especially with a guy, Mark's caliber and tenure at the company, name wise, would want to jump on something like that. Like that sounds like it would have fit perfectly in the X-Men world. Cyberforce would have been, right there.
Well, at the time they were playing rates and contracts, you had 90s artists who were pulling thousands of dollars a page. Like I had heard that McFarlane was pulling like 6,000 or 7,000 a page on Spidey, like an insane amount. And so then he started coloring himself. Just to derail this, there's a few issues of Spider-Man self-titled that Todd colored himself to make an additional like $700 a page. Like it's insane.
I actually did not know that. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna check that out.
If you go back and look at the old books, you'll see Todd McFarlane on colors. It sucked. He's not a good colorist.
Color lines.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Dan. We're gonna look at some of the new X-Men stuff because that is my favorite work of Silvestri, hands down.
I got this on my desk, man.
Yep, I've got that underneath this pile. We're gonna take a look at it because that is my favorite work. I'm gonna get through these fast and get to that because there's some beautiful work in that. Well, thousands of pages. Yeah, that's a lot of money per page. That's crazy. Back in the day.
Hold on a second. Go back to the very front
page.
Hold on.
Oh
no, go back. No, open the cover. Hold on. You call yourself an Image Comics fan, and you didn't. Oh, I guess you did. You did cut it out. All right, for the Image Zero.
This is and I've got like most of the Image books. I have tons of copies of all the early books, right? So there were some that I completely like pulled out posters, and there are others that are completely intact. This just happened to be the first one I grabbed out of my box, and obviously it was one that I cut into there.
So if you look at the credits in there, Mark had to ink himself.
Yeah.
So if you look there, there's no inker. Mark had to ink himself for a few books until Scott Williams was available to help the. So Mark's inks actually weren't too bad.
Yeah, this early Cyberforce stuff, he did a pretty decent job on himself. Like I don't know how much experience he had inking with himself before this.
He didn't have any. He didn't have any.
Well, I mean, solid job there for. That's I love that shot, man. That's just a hell of awesome perspective. I love Ripclaw just chilling up there. I mean, to bring in a character, that's some good storytelling right there. Again,
and you like the little imp, remember Imp from All Cats, the little cameo there? He's all drunk in the alley. Yep. Yeah. They were doing that for fun, like throwing each other's characters in the backgrounds.
Man, that's what I loved about early Image. I mean, the fact that they were trying to, have a shared universe, so to speak, where they're like, we'll cross our characters over. They can just pop up in any book. It really gave a sense of that universe, the Image universe, and it was something that was always fun to me when it came to Marvel and DC. I was like, I'm 100% Image. I just love the characters, love the universe. It's too bad they got away from that.
The best colors too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, they had some.
Like no one gives credit to Image. They always say about they were selling good because of the artists, and I'm always like, Marvel and DC was not doing digital colors like this. They were still stuck in the days of flats. They would do a little bit of two-tone, and that was about it. And then Image was really pushing the color separators, like, hey, we want 10 different values of red and blue on this one character. You know? And literally no one else was doing that. If you look at an X-Men book that came out the same month as this book, it's night and day. It's night and day. It's insane.
Well, I always thought that they had some of the top talent in general working for Image, even at a young age. Like I could see that, and they blew a lot of companies out of the water for everything, every kind of quality. Obviously stemming from the artists, but yeah, like you said, they had great inkers, great colors.
Like Kiko,
characters were great.
Like Kiko's top notch. Like
where did Kiko go? Sean, you would know.
I think he retired.
Did he? I don't even know. I honestly don't know where Kiko went.
I think it's
Dan says, when I met Mark, he was a little bit red-faced. I think I caught him after a night of drinking. I don't know. That could have been. I mean, they partied back in the day.
Probably.
Heard some stories. Yeah, this was all. I mean, again, just straight up double-page splash. Only a little bit of script on there, and the art just speaks for itself. Awesome perspective on the buildings.
This page he pulled out at a signing with Rob, with the Image guys. He's like, "I'm on to you," and Rob's like, "What?" And he showed them this, and this is like all the tricks that like Rob or Jim are used to, but with Mark's like properly beautiful drawing. If I could be so bold.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Rob said this on many of podcasts and interviews, so I'm not whatever. He's like, "Oh shit, he's on to us!" Like, game changer, game changer.
It was too, man. When Mark started doing this, I mean, it was kind of game over. I mean, it took him a second to kind of get out of the shadow, I'd say, of the star names, right? That the Lee, Liefeld, and McFarlane at the time, but he would quickly, I mean, flex, and after a while everybody would know that this dude was just like the top dog, especially when he did Spawn 25. Was it 25?
Yeah,
Spawn 25, which I don't have in this pile, but
the Image crossover month.
Yeah, that was like he really flexed in that book, and then it was pretty much game over after that.
He's like, I could do less characters but more cool artsy fartsy shit, sign me up. And that's how we got Darkness and Witchblade and all that.
So on this page in particular, it's the only one to me that my eyes automatically say, "Oh, Mark must have inked this," and it's because of the way that he rendered Sightblade's metal on her face. No other inker does lines, like especially on the big one there, it seems very much like the way that he sketches. Like he kind of has a very back and forth hit, like a like a hip hop style on things like metal. I've watched him draw a ton, so I kind of see the way he works.
Right.
So he approaches inks that way. He didn't come in and like noodle it like the way that anyone else would have. You know what I mean? So that one, my eyeball tells me, I'm like, oh yeah, he inked that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, some of my favorite videos, and I'm sure anybody that likes Marc Silvestri has seen it, but you can go look up a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and you can find some cool con sketches that he does, and just watching the dude work is fun. Like I've watched a lot of guys like Lee and a lot of people draw on video, but there's something about when Marc draws, it's very fluid, very energetic.
Yeah, I can watch Liefeld draw, and I can watch Jim Lee draw, and it's very systematic, and it makes sense. But when I watch Marc draw, it's intimidating in a weird way, because he starts with like chicken scratch, and it's like that thing when people describe if they don't draw and they see you draw, and they're like, oh, that was nothing, and then all of a sudden it was a thing. That's how I feel when I see Marc draw. Anyone else, I'm like, oh, I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing.
Sure.
But with Marc, it's like, what the hell is this cat doing?
Yeah,
and then it becomes a thing, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, there was I took a lot from. I can't remember he might have been drawing like a Darkness or something. It was on like the Sci-Fi channel or the Sci-Fi YouTube channel, and he was just kind of explaining his style and how he kind of just, when he draws, he never lets the pencil kind of stop. Because he wants to keep that energy. So even if they're just rudimentary shapes or whatever, he's just kind of keeping the energy on the page just going and going. I started using that a lot with my work, and I really liked it because you can see stuff starting to form, and you can go back afterwards and erase and clean it up the way you want, and ink it if you're going to ink your own stuff. But I just really loved his approach to drawing. Like it's a more fun way to draw to me.
Right.
I really like the use of negative space in here, and just the kind of pull back from all the color for a second and drop out the straight white. It really makes that pop out.
He didn't really shortcut a whole lot in this book, knowing that he had to ink himself. Because usually an artist who inks himself is bound to drop a bunch of shadows and no backgrounds. He's drawing villains. Well, I mean, he's drawing trash cans and all the stuff that you don't necessarily have to.
Right.
Well, even stuff like this in this panel where you keep the background in there, but he's using shapes, and he's doing a good job of the contrast of shadows and distance and fog and stuff like that. But it shows through. It's dynamic. It might not be every single window pane, but there's enough information there to really get the sense of where they're at, and it looks good. Yeah, everything about it looks good. Like there's enough bricks in the wall. Like, yeah, it's a wall. Yeah.
I've always loved the coloring of Heat Waves blasters. I always thought that was a nice color.
Before digital was doing a lot of knockouts.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they did a good job. Yeah, they did.
This is a beautifully colored book.
It is. I mean, this book in general is like, it's compared to. I also compared to some of the other launches that the paper weight was a little bit cheaper than like Wildcats and Youngblood and Spawn, but overall the book, I mean, it's great. I mean, it stands up to the rest of them.
Yeah, and I'd also like to.
Oh, I love this page here. This is such a.
I was going to point out that every page has a money shot of some sort, which was like the MO of all the image guys.
Yep.
Primarily because they had a lot of original art cells. Yeah. So that was kind of a part of the game. Was every page has to have a shot that will sell that original.
It's good philosophy. I mean, if you can keep it within the storytelling. Like I said before, like a lot of them are starting to use the anchor panels. There's another page I really like the use of the negative space in this, being that it's kind of a memory or a nightmare sequence.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it, it tears away.
Choido colored this, right? As well.
Who did?
Choido. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is more beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more beautiful than Wildcats 1. Like.
Well, yeah, because that was Russis, was it? That did Wildcats 1?
Oh, maybe I thought.
Oh, was it Chiodo?
I I assumed it was Choi.
I thought Chiodo came out later.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was Joe. Like, was it Joe Rossis? Something like
I
that.
don't know. I'm gonna look right now. I got
What's up,
the
OC Steve?
Steve.
Elliot said there's a video of him drawing Wolverine from a con, which was great. Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome. I've watched every single video you can find on YouTube of Marc Silvestri drawing something. I've seen them all a lot of times.
I can't tell you because this Absolute Wildcats, the first 4 books are recolored by Sinclair.
Oh,
They don't tell you.
I got you. I'm pretty sure it was Joe Rosas or whatever his name is. I'm pretty sure because Chiodo didn't come onto Wildcats. I don't think until later.
And a lot of them were using Steve Ollie Optics for the digital coloring. So Chiodo was mainly doing color guides, like the reduced pages where you color by hand.
What's going on, Jeremy?
Oh, Jeremy.
Yeah, so it's Cyberforce 1. Now, the reason why I jumped a little ahead because you saw a big jump between Uncanny X-Men to Wolverine. You saw a big jump from Wolverine to Cyberforce. And you're going to see even a bigger jump from early Cyberforce to later Cyberforce, especially when he had Matt Banning starting to ink up. And you
that's
also
my favorite. That's my favorite issue of Cyberforce. That's my favorite issue. Yes, that's my favorite single issue of Cyberforce. I had them out of order.
I was going to look at it. It doesn't matter. But this was actually I like this one and then followed by this one.
Yeah.
But this one specifically, because of this cover was just
beautiful.
As a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, it's so awesome!"
It's like,
it's gonna work. Go through that one first.
Okay, we'll look at this one first.
I mean,
I had it out of order, but
they piggyback. I mean, it's pretty much the same.
It's in the same story.
Yeah.
So we had Bat and D-Tron and inks, and also Aaron Saud.
Aaron Saud inked Benitez on the Weapon Zero books.
Oh yeah. That was a good series.
Oh yeah.
And this is when you had Brian Hamberlin. Hamberlin? Is that how you pronounce it? Haberlin?
I've always said Haberlin. I don't know if it's correct.
That's probably what it is. You know me in pronunciations. I'm probably almost always wrong. But this was a big step up in quality because the inks and colors just definitely, and nothing. I mean, I love Chiodo's work, but there was something about this era of Cyberforce. Also, just kind of, I mean, he just was kicking it up a notch with the tech.
Yeah, and Top Cow as well. Their colors surpassed just about every other studio and non-studio. Like they were dangerous when it came to their colorists. Like. At first it was extreme, but now with these guys later on, it's like holy shit! Like you guys gotta see what they're doing, you know?
Yeah, the other studios started stealing Mark's talent because they were so damn good. Yeah, there's the Aaron Saud. I believe Saud, the inker who helps on this one, was inking that Weapon Zero book.
Okay,
love that.
I believe so. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right.
Yeah, and this is before Furcow even was inking because I think he actually inks the next one colors the next one if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just the quality art, and again leaning into a little bit of that Jim Lee aesthetic of the 90s with this era of Cyberforce for sure, but awesome though, man. More like Cyber Dork. I can't stop. That's what she said.
Yeah.
I missed out on all of his work. I didn't check out Mark until The Darkness, which is, a lot of people discovered Mark in the Dark. That was such a popular book, and we're going to look at that here in a second. Great work. I discovered Mark on Cyberforce. Like I said, I was getting into, that was around the era I was really starting to get into collecting comics and knowing artists and all that kind of stuff. And I was big into Image. It's by, I can't tell who that's by. I don't recognize this signature.
Randy. Oh, Anthony Wynn.
Anthony Wynn? Okay.
He went to extreme. He was drawn Brigade.
Was he?
Yeah. And then he got the,
Sean.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, we can talk after.
Stories, huh? Stories.
Anthony Wynn. Anthony Wynn and Cedric Nacone were besties back in the day. Yeah.
Cyberforce 4 through 7 are the prime issues, says Chauncey.
They're all the prime issues, Chauncey.
It just kind of levels up as you go. Like, Cyberforce was
they're all different flavors. Mark kept leveling up on some things, and other things he would let the colorists take care of. So you could see kind of where the changes were. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the reasons why I kind of want to just cherry pick some issues throughout, a decade run or so of his work. Actually, a little bit longer when you get into the new X-Men, like maybe 15 years worth. Because
And something that goes unmentioned is Mike Turner was actually a background assistant, and I don't even know which issues, but he was an assistant for Mark.
Uncredited, right?
I think 10
yeah. Because I heard that too.
Yeah,
and that's one thing you're going to kind of start seeing the farther we get into his work. He would utilize a lot of background artists, and the books started becoming more like team books. There were a lot of uncredited artists helping out on those books, which at some point I think kind of takes away from the art, because you can kind of look at some of the stuff and see where something's Silvestri not.
it's a different energy. Yeah,
Exactly. But I want to say that's what impresses me so much about the new X-Men run, because I think he did the majority of the work on new X-Men that I can see. Maybe some backgrounds, but I really think that the majority of the work was done by Silvestri and new X-Men, and you can just tell there's a flex right with that run of books, and I could be completely wrong. He might have had some fantastic people working with him.
This is your show, Joe. You're right.
Of course, I'm right. Absolutely, that's right. Well, that's why I got. That's why I got you guys on here. You fill me on things I don't know either. I don't know
I'd like to point out that DPS you just passed up for some silhouettes. That's badass.
Oh,
hey, silhouettes don't sell a book, but the colors on that, they made it like worth it.
Yeah, I've said it before a lot of times when it comes to silhouettes. If you don't know what you're doing, they're not going to come out well. But I mean, if you really know how to capture a silhouette, there can be some crazy, awesome dynamics within silhouettes. And Silvestri does a fantastic job. And there's a lot of artists out there that do real good jobs with silhouettes. But this is just great. I mean, you have no problem just making out. I mean, you got the clothes on there. You got everything. It's just a fantastic job when it comes to just drawing silhouettes. It's very impressive.
That could have been one page itself. If you look at it and it's like, oh, let's crop them out into another page to make it a DPS.
Right. Yeah.
You know what, Sean? It probably was. If you look at the scale, it probably was, and they were probably like, "This book's late. You got to move these guys over.
We need an extra page. Let's do it."
Stranger things have happened, right?
Yep. Yeah. I can dig it. Well, one thing I'll definitely point out is that now that we've gotten a little farther into Cyberforce, you've seen a really departure from the older way he was doing paneling. His panel work now is just crazy dynamic. There's nothing about these pages that screams boring. Even when they're just nice cutout panels and they're not like stuff like that, but nothing about it's boring. It's laid out in a way that's very dynamic, very fun for your eyes to go to read. That's a big difference between that and like the early Marvel stuff. And obviously we know, we talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, he finally had good inks.
Yeah, that too. All right, so here's Shelby's favorite Cyberforce issue 13.
Ever.
He loves it.
Ever.
I do love it. I love it so much. I'm gonna cry right now.
And we actually have Ashby Manson and Steve Furkow doing the colors, but Steve is the secondary color, and they've got I don't recognize that name. Ashby.
Oh, Ashby Manson.
Yeah.
He was the colorist on what was Peterson's book, Sean? Arcanum. I think he was. So what probably happened here? It was probably Ashby probably did the colors, and then C. Furkow, whatever. He probably came through and did a final pass, like the effects and some of the tonal adjustments for print.
Got you.
I'm just assuming.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, we'll spread that rumor.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
But regardless,
it's fact.
Some beautiful work. I mean, this is gorgeous page.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, look at that rack. Look at that rack right there.
There you go.
You gotta tell me twice.
Oh, trust me. I looked at it quite
I was talking about the castle. If you look on top of the castle, there's a rack.
Right. She looks like Yasmin Bleak. You remember that chick from Baywatch? Yeah. Which is fine.
Kinda.
Which is fine. around.
Yeah, but
Yeah, again,
the
sexy
inks on that
woman.
figure are awesome. Look at the inks on that, like the
Yeah.
contour, so good.
This is Bat and Silvestri inks some, and then Jason Gorder.
And I think Mark just put his name in there. I don't feel like he inked anything in this issue.
He's like, I just want to have some credit.
Yeah, he filled in the black spots. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Man,
Oh, look at that gesture on her.
I was just gonna say
page.
that was kind of a popular gesture in the '90s.
Yeah.
I saw Jim Lee, do that quite a bit too. It's a hard fucking gesture to draw.
And...
The kick. Yeah, it's even harder to do.
Yeah.
I've attempted it many times.
Yeah, throw your back out. Yeah, just I think what it is the shading that he was doing in this. He had a more like a more direct like heavy shadow approach, and I think that's I feel like that's why I like these pages so much from this book.
Yeah, you could be right. I've always liked, this kind of style of shading a lot more. There's just something about it's very attractive to my eyes, which is probably why when you go back farther into the uncanny stuff, I still enjoy reading it, and just because it's Mark, but it doesn't have the same appeal to me as this stuff does. Or it's like what the Darkness will have, or the new X-Men run.
Chauncey's saying he thinks Mike Turner's in the credits.
Chauncey.
So it could be. Yeah, Finch and Turner both were assisting on certain things, so I don't know.
Yeah, he could have been in there, just not credited.
I was gonna say I don't see him in the specific credits here, but Peter Steigerwald is there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So you see Victor Lamas on ink assist down there.
Yeah.
And he was like a huge part of the inks on Aphrodite 9, right?
Oh.
Like he kind of came in and was taking over, and then also on Ascension, the books after Finch stopped drawing it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Lamas.
Yeah.
I think he passed.
Yeah, he did.
I think he passed away. Did he pass away last year?
Who did?
A few years back.
Victor, the inker. Victor
Oh,
Lamas,
really?
Yeah, I saw Joe posted something about it. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Chauncey said, "Don't look at Yasmin Bleeth today, though. Keep her in the Baywatch memory banks." Yeah,
I'll take her as it comes.
Yeah, maybe not today. I know what Chauncey's talking about. Oh, it was the other issue before this. Okay, I got you, Chauncey. Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely really cool. Get through where were we at here?
And I think this was actually a short book too. I think it was less than like 20 or 24.
Yeah, they do more backups just to fill out a book.
Yeah, like I think they were having issues with just the production side. Yeah, that's
a page, which is nothing wrong.
I think the next I think the next double pager is the one that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, dude,
woo.
I would own that so hard. Like,
look at that! It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's comics.
Isn't that awesome?
Hell yeah.
Like in black and white. Like I just I've never seen this piece in black and white.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to see in black and white.
But you can just tell. You can tell. Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's so good. So good.
Nice.
Random Test said, okay, you had me on eBay looking at Silvestri books. This stream probably going to cost me some money. All right. Hell yeah.
As long as you're happy.
That's right.
If someone can drop Joe Sontag's eBay store in the chat.
Michael Turner was planned to take over Cyberforce from issue 15, but got put on the Ballistic miniseries instead. Yeah, when we do a stream on Turner, we're going to go over the Ballistic series specifically because he's known for the Witchblade and Fathom and all the stuff he did later, but that Ballistic run was fantastic work.
Yeah.
Right off the bat for Turner. So when we jump into that, we're going to look at that. I love this page.
Yeah.
I love the background. Just love the way the black just encases everything. And just this was a technique that I really liked that guys like Silvestri would do. This kind of like hard shadow to kind of bring the page out.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a panel in itself, but it just adds a lot of
Yeah.
dynamic to the page itself.
I had talked to Weems about that several times because I started doing that years ago. I was biting off the darkness though. It wasn't off this. It was more specifically off the
The darkness
with the window panes, and they would cut behind the character, but it would frame the character at the same time.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. There's something special about that. That's really cool. That's funny too.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of a little bit Kenneth Roquefort, just the way the cybernetics and stuff that was done at Top Cow,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that rubbed off a little bit on Roquefort. But look at that gesture. It's just, man, it's so good.
Yeah, that's straight drunken fool or guy stuck in an alternate reality.
Yeah.
The page before it, Joe. The page right behind there. I always mention how hard it is to draw kids.
Oh yeah.
Look at that, dude! Like,
kids
that's insane.
They're brutal to draw.
There's no question though. Like, even though it's like was it Timmy or whatever? Like, it was the
the robot.
He's like robot. Yeah.
The android or whatever.
Look, he pulled it off. So he used all that detail, because usually when we draw like kids, you try to keep it open and you try not to shade it too much, because they'll look like Wilford Brimley and shit, right?
Mm.
So he does it right. Like, even with the line weights, like there's just enough where they're like pre-teenish kind of. He doesn't look like he's 20.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a very hard thing to do.
It was one thing we were talking about on the Keown stream, is that he did kids very well as well, and they're just really hard to draw. Yeah, that's and also the one we were talking about with Keown, one of the Timmy issues, he had a lot of heavy shadow, heavy rendering on his face, but still kept the child like aspect of the character, and that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I was looking through my darkness issues, and I forgot I had bought this. Whenever this came out, the collected edition.
It's probably the first two or three.
Just the first few issues. Like,
yeah, they did that.
Look at this.
Top Cow did that with Soul Saga for the first. They did a collected volume 1, and it's literally just issue 1 and 2. It's such a rip. It's like, why does this even exist?
They did that with Ascension as well. And the cool thing about the Darkness ones, they did like a bookcase, I think, for volume 3. And I'm like, oh, I need this, which I really don't, but it's cool. It's a cool knickknack to have.
Right.
Billy said the colors still hold up. Yeah, like absolutely. I mean, there's some fun stuff we've looked at so far. So this is straight up one of my favorite teams of Silvestri, Bat, and Furcow. And my other favorite team would be Silvestri, Weems, Furcow. But yeah, the work here in the darkness with Bat and Silvestri.
So
good.
Jump forward to the pages where the team is getting attacked the first time he changes to the darkness, the double page splash. I'm going to point something out to you that you probably have never seen, because of the number of reprints that exist with this.
Ooh, there's a tan pin.
Yeah, it's really tan pin up. Yeah.
Oh, first, before we get there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this one.
Read the back of the helmet on the guy in the bottom left.
Peterson.
Right. So he was a pencil assistant for Mark, right?
Yeah.
When Brando left Top Cow, every reprint of this book, that name says Pearson. They changed it.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm just pointing that out since it's fresh in my head. Yeah, so the first printings. Yeah, so if you look at any reprints of that, the back of his helmet, they changed it.
Wow.
The same thing with Hunter Killer. He was always wearing a Radiohead shirt.
Yeah.
Now it says they changed it too. It doesn't say Radiohead anymore. It says like Hadio Red or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just pointing it out in
Okay.
case it's an Easter egg. It's one of those weird things that unless you knew, you would never see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before. That's funny. I never even looked at that before. That's funny.
Anyways, carry on. Just carry on.
Yeah, the Art in Darkness he changed up a little bit. Like there was the stuff you saw him doing. This is when I think he was breaking away from the Jim Lee aesthetic a little bit that he was developing with Cyberforce. And he really kind of went in a different direction with the Darkness. And this had a little bit more of a, what would you say? Not boutique. There's a sharper style with what he's doing with the Darkness.
Je ne sais quoi.
There you go. A je ne sais quoi. Rick says, I like the work on the Silvestri's work on the Darkness. Yeah. This is some of my favorite work. This and then, drawing car crashes suck. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anything with vehicles sucks, in my opinion, especially something like this. I mean, that's solid. But again, I mean, you're working with a fantastic inker like Bat, who's got your back in a lot of these things. And I just really like the style that Silvestri had with the Darkness. There was just something that you hadn't seen up to this point that he was doing. It was almost kind of a little bit of a throwback line work wise that he was kind of doing in Uncanny, except inked way better.
Exactly. That's why I was mentioning I've seen pencil scans of his Uncanny work, and it was as good as this. And that's why it's upsetting for me to see the inks, because it's like, do I shit on a legend, or do I just agree that it's good work?
Right, exactly.
And by legend, I'm talking about the inker. I'm not talking about
You got to call it out for what you see it in here. Like it's.
Sometimes it sucks to you got to keep your mouth closed for certain things, and meanwhile you're like,
right.
It's all subjective, though. I mean,
yeah, but
when you're saying,
I'm right.
If something, right, exactly.
It's one of those things that as soon as you see it, it becomes fact. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, this was obviously a mistake. Like this other way worked so much better.
What I really liked what Silvestri did in a lot of these books or a lot of the Darkness stuff, is he leaned into these thin panels. And I really liked the way that they looked on a page as opposed to like the big borders on a panel, I know there's times when you need borders and, when it comes to storytelling, but there was something about it that just had a fun feel to it.
Full bleed. He went full bleed on everything, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is full bleed.
All right. So let's get to that. Yeah. We'll get back to here. Like, this was just some cool character designs, because honestly, that's got to be fun to draw because it's like crazy easy. Right, you're just doing the shape, and then the color is going to come in and make that really pop. But when the colors do come in, it looks great. But the wings, the detail on the wings, you can pull off the detail on the bodies because of the way that they're designed. But you go in and really render out those wings, and they're just dark and menacing. Love that. A lot of that. A lot of this Silvestri, a lot of it's also Bat, and the way he kind of rendered out the lines.
So the Darkness to me is. When everything, like, I think of it as the planets aligning with the sun. That's literally the Darkness. Like, everything lined up. He had the perfect inker, the perfect assistants, the perfect style that he was going for, the perfect colorist, good paper quality, the right fans to keep it going. It was like everything aligned for that book to be successful. Also, the writer, Garth Ennis was one of the top 10 writers at the time. So for him to land an Ennis book that was more in the adult realm versus a superhero book,
Right. And this is the Darkness is he had a first design that looked nothing like. I got to see. I got to see that, like the Turner turnarounds in Hawaii last year, and I'm like, holy shit!
Oh, really?
Cool visual.
That's awesome.
But man, that would have been a pain in the dick to draw.
Yeah, that was really detailed. I mean, in the Darkness costume, I think is pretty detailed when you get into the intricacy of like the metal and stuff, and the way that the suit kind of wraps around. But yeah, that original Darkness design was insane.
I thought at first the green was kind of weird, but it grew on me. I'm like, all right, now it makes sense because it's not typical superhero. But I don't. Well, he's not a superhero, but
it's cool because it kind of gave him his own own
Right.
feel. You know, it was a different
Right.
color scheme than you were seeing. You know, it wasn't reds, it wasn't blacks, it wasn't blues and all this stuff. You know, like this just odd green color, but
Yeah.
So,
green and gold. You know,
to either of you, does this toilet death scene, the 2 pages before it too, they kind of harken back to his fill-in book on Spawn, where he got a little more caricaturish with the faces. There was a little bit more emote going on. But I love it, dude. I love it. Like his line art sells it, the contours and the the rendering, and it's told very well. You know, like that's the only page with a toilet I would have on my wall. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's the only.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of the things I was going to say about the Darkness run is, you know, he's breaking away from that Jim Lee style. He's doing something that's a little bit different. And yeah, he was leaning more into like these funny faces with these characters. You know, you notice a lot of characters in the Darkness have, you know, long faces or fat faces, or like, you know, he's really leaning into that for sure.
Yeah. The different body types of the mafioso and all that.
Yep. And it works at all. I mean, he made it all work. It's fantastic. Billy said it's amazing how well every page of his always reads, with how much chaos can sometimes be happening from panel to panel.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, with all the detail and like all the stuff you're throwing around, it just still reads smoothly. He's a great storyteller. I mean, besides an artist, you know, fantastic storyteller.
Oh hell yeah! He'll make it happen.
Yeah, maybe one of these days Isaac will do that. We'll see. I'm trying to get him to come over and come over to Comicsgate one of these days. Dan Fraga's Alfred shitting on a toilet art is well worth to. Oh yeah,
you said Walworthy. Yeah,
Walworthy too. Yeah,
the drapery in that dude.
Yeah,
fucking epic, beautiful stuff.
So I've seen that original, that cover right there.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you want to quit, dude. You know when things are so good, you just want to quit.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. Absolutely.
And you'll smile about it. You'll just be like, "Fuck this guy," and you just smile while you walk away and drop your pencil. You know what I mean? It's like you're happy that he won.
Yeah, it's every time I see you put up, "This is a whip in progress." I'm like,
oh, yeah, right, exactly. I was just about to say, yep, I experience that all the time, Shelby.
I'm over here coloring Sean's work.
Yeah, but the drapery, the folds and curves, Silvestri is probably one of the best at making that look cool.
It's that Frazetta influence.
Yeah.
No.
He just took it to it. I mean, besides the layer, I mean, you look at the layers, but then look at the bottom layer underneath.
Yeah.
You know, that's what really catches my eye. Like that's sick.
I like that Furchow made his name very legible in there. He's like, dude, if I'm gonna spend 2 days coloring this, you're gonna know I did.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Steve.
The Spider-Man walk away.
I would do that right now, but I'm not wearing a belt. So.
Yeah.
Slam my phone down, shut off the computer.
MD Dangerously said a lot of the current stuff is toilet art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel you.
Yeah.
Rick said, no, I talked to him. He's going to be doing it for sure. Oh, Indiegogo. Good deal.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully, I would like to say he's listening to our advice, but maybe he's listening to other people. I don't know, but we brought it up. Hopefully he does it.
We should take credit for that.
I think we absolutely should take credit for it.
Because of art and stuff.
Yeah,
you heard it here.
We're definitely taking credit for it.
Yeah, fuck that. We got to take something.
I love this rendering on this face. I mean,
yes.
Absolutely
awesome.
Sick.
Now, Shelby, when you look at this stuff, as far as like an inker perspective, are you like, all right, they used this nib or this brush with this technique, or are you just
no, because I know Bat is straight up nib. He's 102.
Right.
Yeah.
He's even very particular about the way he holds his pen holder.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, I know Bat. I know how he inks. Yeah, he actually has. People don't know it. Banning started out over at Marvel. And he has a bunch of dead. Yeah, no one does. He has a bunch of Deadpool inks,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't. nothing about those pencils made him shine. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like as soon as he got a hold of Mark, it was like, you know, he just kind of grabbed the bull by the horns. I mean, he showed off a lot with this, which is nice. Mark needed it too.
He chiseled out. Well, he not chiseled, but like he tapers up his brushes to look like a nib. Because I got that Countdown to Wednesday video DVD. Joe was there when I got it, and I'm like, is that a nib? Yeah. But it's his brush, but he just tapes it out and it just looks so fucking sharp. It's like shit.
Scott Williams does the same. Scott Williams does a lot of brushings that look like it's a liner. It's like a deadline. And I don't know how to feel about it. I'm like, it's cool, but just use a pen.
Yeah, you're going to be spending some money for sure, Chauncey. Absolutely. Spending money on that.
See, that's a great scene where you see like the composition, the blacks, but the colors just make it pop. Like it's like a Temple of Doom, you know? Pull up the heart.
I can't remember what they say in that scene. Damn it.
Jabu.
Yeah, amongst you by or something like that. Amongst you by, yeah. It would have been good. Again, I love the use of negative space down here. There's just something about that. I dig it, man. Like I don't know. There's just, you know, some people like different things, and it's all subjective because it's art. But there is something about stuff like that that just really gets me for some reason. Really, I don't know. I can be so excited about looking at nothing, if that makes sense. But I'm just like, yeah, it's so good.
I'm going to be on. What it is it's Fairchild's colors, Joe.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Fairchild's color. So what he did is it's not necessarily the negative space. It's the fact that he used all the warm hues on the Jackie panels and the warm / cool hues on the dying guard there, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah. I'm gonna tell you a secret about the darkness right now.
Do it.
The color. So the coloring style, not the style. The palette. This is gonna sound weird, but if you go watch the animated Disney Aladdin film, it's literally this palette. That's literally where the palette comes from.
Really?
It's what it is it's the red, the oranges, and then you got the blues, the beige, and the gold. That's where the colors. Yeah, honestly, that's where they come from. And the only reason I say that is because I work with Drew Posada, and Drew told me because he came from Top Cow. And he's like, dude, this is why this works. And he goes, it's straight up Aladdin. He goes, have you seen Aladdin? And I'm like, well, yeah. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, dude, that's where the colors came from. It makes sense. Awesome. Good color theory works everywhere. It's not just made for one. It's not just made for, you know, cartoons and all that. Yeah.
Lion King, though. Aladdin and Lion King all the effing time.
Billy knows what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s Disney. They mastered the palette, man.
That's half of my cartoon rack behind me.
Yeah.
And gummy bears. But that's for
gummy bears.
Bouncing here and
there, everywhere.
Chauncey said, since we're sharing secrets, what about that Anthony Wynn Brigade?
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
You can ask Sean.
There you go, Sean.
I got stories. I'm not putting them out there. It's probably the same stories.
They are.
We're just kidding. There's no stories, guys. We're just making jokes here.
We're just trying to be cooler than we are because we don't know shit. We're just having funs and LMAFOs.
Billy said the purples in Aladdin are sneaky and amazing in light and shadow.
Yeah, the opening scene, like when the guy's like, oh, like the whatever.
Yeah.
Phenomenal cause. Man, Aladdin's the shit.
Oh, I still like 90s. Yeah.
I like that I like in Darkness they're showing all the flashback darknesses, like see the pirate and all that. Like that's cool.
Yeah, it's just an awesome.
Mainly just because Mark drew them so well. Like I think the stories are kind of boring, but the artwork's cool. You know, for those backstories they were doing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, just look at that dude again.
Yeah.
the way his clothes are designed, just everything on that is just, yeah, sexy, man. It's sexy. The art that Silvestri draws is sexy. That's just it. Like that's the line I'll give him. All his art is sexy art.
Oh, dude, Robert, that era was when Benitez was getting more into a Silvestri Top Cow superhero vibe, and that's the shit for me. Like, what is it, like 13 to like 25? Like, that's probably my favorite Benitez.
Yeah, something like that. Look at the rack in that chick. Damn. Whew. Now that's how you draw a woman.
Stephen Platt traced that panel of her.
For what?
You know, Platt did some fill-in pages on Darkness.
Yeah.
He did?
You can tell. They're blocky.
Hold on. Let me show you.
Let us know. Like that's.
I'm gonna show you.
I did not. Know that.
No, so stay right there. Yeah, Steve Platt did 3 or 4 fill-in pages. Hold on. I'm not a liar. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna show you. Okay, so you got that one. All right. Here's Steve Platt's.
Yeah.
This is Platt right here.
Oh
Here.
yeah, look at that.
That's Steve Platt. Oh, what? That's weird.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
it's a little bit of a swipe.
Yeah, that's Steve Platt.
That's a man, baby.
That's a man, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, Platt did these 2, and then he did the 2 after it too. Just 4 pages, and you could tell it's not Mark's work. Like this dude smoking a cigarette, this big dude right here, like that's not Mark.
Yeah.
You can tell from the face too, like that's not
yeah,
Mark.
Mark
did not draw that, dude. Yeah.
What issues that?
I don't know. This is the collected volume 2.
Okay.
So let me look here. Hold on. I don't know if they have the cover.
That's definitely Platt. Yep, you're right.
So this is issue 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so issue 7, he did those 4. Yeah, and I don't know if this is true or not, but someone had told me that Mark redrew the females' faces on Platt's pages before they were inked.
I could see it being true.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying I heard this.
He heard it through the grapevine.
This was also one of my favorite shots of the Darkness.
Yeah.
This is something so.
Do you remember that Christmas cover
Awesome
there
about
was
that.
of the Darkness, where it was him just kind of as Santa Claus and like the trail behind of the sleigh and all that? That was a dope cover.
I don't know if I saw that one.
I think that's Billy Tan. Wasn't that
Is
a
it?
Tan cover? I
Is
think
it?
that's a
Oh.
Billy Tan. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Honestly, I think that's a Billy Tan. I think so.
Okay.
All right, so now we got into my favorite work of Silvestri's all time. Yeah, we all got it.
He loves it.
First of all, yeah, if he's using background help on this, I don't care. Just everything looks great. And this is my one of my favorite teams again. Silvestri, Weems, and Furcow. It's just the colors on this book are so awesome. Like they're just there's so many panels in this book that just pop the hell out. Let's see.
Bird Boy look cool.
Yeah.
Dumbest characters ever created.
Yep.
There's like a
Yep.
gene there.
Absolutely. And you had bat ink in here too on some of these. And you had, let's see, Joe Weems, Billy Tan, Eric Balsadu, and Tim Townsend doing inks on this too. So
That's
there was
E-Bass.
yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if E-Bass did some backup work and some some finishings.
Yeah, some finishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now that I've seen his name on there, because
You can usually tell if the females, if the guys' faces look a bit like effeminate. It's usually E-Bass's. I think.
That's a good point.
My opinion.
Let's pay attention to that as we go forward. That's a very good point. But yeah, I mean, just look at the colors in this book. Just outstanding. To the money shot
Great
here.
use of composition with the Sentinel. Well,
Wait,
that's beautiful.
Go back one. Hey,
Right
that panel in the middle on the right where they're getting blasted.
Yeah.
Tell me you can't hear the sound effect without a sound effect there. Like you can hear the panel, dude. Like you can hear the the last parts of those guys.
2003, 2004, late 2000s.
Yeah, I think it was right around that time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Because he actually did this. This was one of the times when I stopped reading comics for a second. And he did this during that time. I remember when I came back to reading comics, I was like, "What? Silvestri did X-Men? I gotta find this."
Yeah.
The original preview of the Darkness was in the Cyberforce style. Huh.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Cyberforce number 25 with the foil cover had a Darkness pencil preview backup by Mark. So that there's a pencil preview in the back, like uninked.
Oh,
nice.
Kind
of cool.
I'll have to look that up. I don't know if I have that issue or not.
Yeah.
I love this. Just that design on the broken ceiling there, but it's again the colors really pop it out because it's just line work there, but just all together, just.
Well,
beautiful.
He continued the coloring in the negative space of the crosshair bars, right? Like if you look, he actually rendered in there. Like I know it's kind of goofy, but he did that. Kind of helps it too. That he kind of continued where Mark's lines kind of were leading for the bars and all that.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Little things like that help.
So extra storytelling in the X-Men is next level. Yeah, again, this is like I said, this is my favorite work, and I did a video of this not too long ago, also specifically because of that. It's just this is a book I heavily reference a lot of times because it's just some of my favorite work, just all around.
This is crazy.
Oh, man, yeah, this
is just stupid good.
Yeah, this is the walk away moment, right?
Yeah.
Like this kind of work is the work. Like I'll study this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna quit now. Like I'm just time to hang it up.
I think that double, because that's a double page spread drawn. They flipped it. I don't recall where I saw it for sale, but it was less than $2,000 way back. Yeah, because all this inflation stuff is current. Like all this inflated pages. You used to be able to get a Marc Silvestri X-Men page inked by Dan Green for less than $400.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And now it's $900 gets you a throwaway.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been practicing trying to do clouds like this.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta. I'll practice later on because this is just crazy, just awesome shit.
Yeah. So the way he does those, I watched him do it on commission. He does the shapes first.
Mm-hmm.
He'll kind of loosely work in the shapes, and then he'll kind of work in the values last. So he's not doing all those parallel hatching lines and the curvature of them. He's not working that until he has all of the cloud shapes kind of in there. Yep. And it does help a lot. Because I do the same thing, Sean.
Where were you 3 months ago, bro?
Yeah. No, I do the same thing in a lot of my work too, and it's stuff like that. And it's all just shit I copied right from Silvestri.
Oh yeah.
A straight rip off.
It's fine by me.
Yep. There's something. Yeah, just fuck.
Billy says, Billy says are at the bottom.
Said, yeah, this color looks very modern, like it was referenced from 3D models and current shit, but better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the use of the greens and in the kind of like the purples and the reds. Just everything about this book just is fantastic. It just pop. I mean, look at the water.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This Silvestri run of books here looks better than everything on the shelf today. And it's weird to say that. Like, it literally looks better than everything.
Yeah,
hands down, man. I mean, this was some groundbreaking run in my opinion, because I think at this point, like, he hadn't drawn for a few years, and then he came out with this, and this was like the first thing he dropped after not. Because I remember, like, specifically when I stopped reading, when I took a break from reading comics there for a while, Silvestri hadn't done anything for a while. I think Rob hadn't done anything for a little bit. Jim Lee, I think, hadn't done too much, or was, kind of sidelined at that point. Like, all my favorite art, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of got out of comics for a little bit, because all my favorite artists weren't doing shit at the time.
Yeah, they were tired.
Yeah,
this,
and then
this is him taking his dick out and putting it on the table.
exactly. I was like, then
I
he
am
comes
Marc
out with this
Silvestri.
and just
Yeah.
like I'm, he came out of semi-retirement and he was
You know
like,
who this is? Oh, this is Marc motherfucking Silvestri.
yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Look, Bird Boy. Looks cool.
Yeah, you make the Bird Boy look good. You make him actually pretty. I mean, pretty interesting.
So somebody had told me that that Ethan created Bird Boy during his run on New
Really?
X-Men. I don't know if that's true. Someone told me that.
I would like to. I'd like to find that answer. Somebody's gonna have to super chat Ethan one of these days. I just found the Darkness Superman crossover.
Yeah, Tyler did those. Those are pretty cool.
Those Kirkham, yeah.
Yeah, that's when he was kind of more Silvestri Platt. You know?
Robert said, "Never seen this. I hate DC and Marvel. Now I gotta get this. Thanks. Yeah, dude, this is worth it.
You
I mean,
should.
the issues are expensive, or not expensive, but they're not the easiest issues to find. But this collected stuff, it's worth it to get it collected and just read it all at once. For sure. I mean, this is
if you could score that collected edition there for under $20, you're a made man or woman.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, that's why I paid.
Whatever
That's
you
why I wanted
choose
to
to
go
this
back.
day of the week.
I love this sequence here. Again, without sound effect, right? But you can totally just feel
Pew pew.
this whole thing right here.
Yeah.
These three panels right there, that action, that set of action right there, the storytelling, it's just, I always loved it. There's so much dynamic and action in that.
Are there any sound effects in this book? I don't remember seeing.
There
any
might
sound
not be
effects in
now
the
that you
book.
mention it. Yeah, there might not be any sound effects. Just
Like I don't see any. I actually have it. It's funny you brought that up because I was showing Joe before we came on. I have this on my desk today, so
Yeah,
Yep.
there's one. There's a few. But no, yeah, this is in my my row of bullshit comments too. Splunkish.
yeah, there's the one page that has all the bamfs, like literally the panels bamfs.
for
here.
Nightcrawler doing his thing.
Yeah,
bam,
that doesn't count.
bam.
Mark drew
No.
those. Like those are hand drawn. That's not a letter. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Mike said there was an Avengers book he did too that was stellar. I don't know if I've seen that
Yeah,
one.
they're in like the Messiah complex, but
Oh, the Messiah, okay.
he had a lot
Two.
of help with those. Yeah,
He's no. He's talking about
Man, look at that.
the Civil War book with Iron Man holding the flag on the
yeah,
cover.
yeah,
That's the one he's talking about.
yeah, those are beautiful. He had a lot of help with those too.
I'm gonna have to check
I
that
think-
out because that was
I
a
think
period of time I
Ebas
don't
did
think I was reading.
finishes.
He did.
I think Ebas did finishes because those are the ones that have the female fight, and it's like
Right.
Mark didn't draw this. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah. It is good
Still
work though, Mike. You're correct.
Beautiful work. Yeah, still
Yeah, it's
beautiful
very good.
work.
This is sick as hell. For just like a graveyard scene, right? With just the way that you stack up the graveyard or the gravestones and everything. You got the creepy looking trees there. The fact that you're in like fall, and got leaves floating around. The colors are amazing. Just a very well drawn.
How are the
Cyclops.
bodies stacked up under there? Look at that. Like,
I know, like it,
Doesn't matter, Sean. Doesn't
Right.
matter.
No,
And-
technically.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
and that's
Yeah,
what
That's
this
what
isn't
it's all
a-
about. And that's what it's all about.
exactly. And that's
That's
what we've
me
been
playing on
hammering.
the nerds are like, but it's not realistic
right.
looking.
They're
Shut up,
all
nerd.
they're all kids. They're all kids. That's why they're small.
Yeah.
Just go real dark.
But yeah, that's what we've been hammering home over during the pit issues with mailing and stuff is like, sometimes it just needs to look cool. You
Yeah.
don't need to explain it. This is awesome.
There's-
I
It's not
love the
real.
use of the shadows in this. It just really makes the
Yeah.
leaves pop out, especially with the colors.
Yeah.
I mean, the folds in the coat are amazing. So just something simple. A walk away, but sets the mood. This is a very moody scene. And just he captures
I
it.
mean, Emma's setting the mood on the left panel there. You know what that reminds me? It reminds me of Will Ferrell's character in Wedding Crashers, where he was going to funerals because all the chicks were horny.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Nothing wrong
yeah.
with that. Why you gotta throw sauce on
It was
the
like
game?
super depressing.
Yep.
You make that seem like that's a bad idea.
Yeah, some This is an awesome cover. I don't know if that was a cover or not, if that was a pinup, but that's just
that was a
sick.
DPS. They just, I don't know. I think they needed a filler.
Mm.
That was a double page spread, and they just
Yeah, you're
repurposed
right.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler was a cover though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that was a cover. I couldn't remember the Wolverine one though.
So good.
Ma, the meatloaf. You want to know what looks awesome? Look at that freaking
Everything.
whale.
Yeah.
It's sick.
And he's smart. Look at the pipes. He's got like pipes. Like, I don't understand what he's made out of, but he looks awesome.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, he's got pipes and metal, but he's not, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just holding my hammer in your face. Now it looks awesome.
Yeah. Hey, if that was Thor, I would buy it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, there's your bam.
All the
Bam,
vamps. Yeah.
Bam.
The face on the bottom of that page is sick.
Yeah.
I love the face. Like, that face just looks awesome. I don't know what it is.
Well, this is what I was talking about earlier. The fact that not only does he draw attractive women, but he draws attractive male characters too. Like the features that he puts into the face is just very well done.
Yeah. Oh, MD Dangerously on the bottom there in chat.
As far as I can tell, Barnell Bush character is credited to Grant Morrison and EVS. Oh, so
cool.
That's cool.
Co-created. All right.
That's awesome.
I didn't read that run of the Frank Quietly in that. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either.
These books are what brought me back to X-Men. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, actually, this is the last like real thing of the X-Men I read was
Same.
this, and then I was off again after you know.
It was
like,
kind of torture. It's what was it called? Stockholm syndrome. Reading the Morrison stuff. It's like, oh my god, I've read this shit since issue 1. It's like, fuck. Thank God for Mark.
Yeah, those swirls. Yeah, those leaves are awesome on the page.
He sent in those package.
Here's another really good shout out. Not not a silhouette, but very heavy shadowed. Look at that hand is awesome. Look at that. Almost reminds me of like a McFarlane kind of hand. Like the way McFarlane would draw. Yes.
The sausage fingers, but he does it well. No, he does it well.
Yeah. Silvestri does. Again, Silvestri makes it look sexy, right? Yeah.
Yep. There it is.
Woo.
Yeah, I have no complaints about this entire run of Mark's. Like, it just the whole thing is it's satisfying, man. Like, this whole book's satisfying.
Yep.
And I've never been able to put my finger on it. Like, is it the art or is it the colors that's...
It's got to be everything just all together. Because, I mean, he comes and flexes hard on the art. Weems and the rest of the inkers, Bat, and all of them do a great job. I'm sure he's got some really good assistants as well. And then Steve Furcaldi, comes and just basically... They all were flexing on this. And I think that's what made it such an awesome book. Like, every single person that was on this book gave their best work, and it just stands the test of time. It looks beautiful still today. It's gonna look beautiful 10 20 years from now. Just the reflections in the rain here. I mean, it just there's so many things you could just spend time looking at this entire run and pulling out new stuff all the time. It just will blow your mind as an artist. Like, man, I wish my stuff could look a fraction as good as this kind of. I mean,
yeah, I've even been playing a bit with the coloring style. I keep making you go back. If you go back one page there, Joe, I'll show you. If you look at underneath of her hat, you have that secondary background color reflecting inside of the shadow.
Yeah.
I do that because I saw Fairchild do it. Like, literally because of that. When I saw that, I was like, I need to do that. Like, that just looks cool.
Right.
Where it's like, it's obviously a shadow, but there's color. Like, it has a hue to it, instead of just dark beige.
I love Furcow's palette in this book. Like we were talking about. I mean, like, just the choices of colors that he uses all throughout the entire run. Just everything everything works. Everything just seems to be perfect, and I think that's like you were saying, Shelby. I mean, it's the colors are a huge factor in this as well as everything else, and just quality wise, just a fun book to look at.
Yeah, I didn't find Beast particularly threatening in this.
That was an interesting
for some
character.
reason. But I think it was because they were trying to sell you that he was actually not. It wasn't him. It was like a smart bacteria or something that was making him that way, wasn't it?
Honestly, I can't remember. It's been so long since I actually read it. That I've spent more time just gawking over the art. I know I've read this before, but again,
I read it once.
Yeah, I read it. I probably just read it that one time, and then I was just like, all right, now I'm just gonna go back and look at everything.
It does not read like an 80s X-Men comic, and I think that's a little bit of the reason why it doesn't stick,
Yeah. Oh man, look at that cover. Jeez. Yeah, they had some sick covers for this run too. Man. Chauncey, yeah, Beast was okay. Gotcha. Good call.
Yeah, because they got that scene at the end.
Jeez. Yeah, it's just yeah, like I said, that's why I want to save this one pretty much for last, because this is it. Like, this is still my favorite work that Marc has ever put together for me, and I love all of his stuff. But
look at the colors on Beast right there.
Yeah.
Like who can pull like lavender, red, and orange and make it work like that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But if you go to the page back before this, Joe, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Or is it like you see how that thing is just kind of going into the ground and how it's just textured in there?
Oh yeah.
I love that type of bullshit.
Yep.
I love that bullshit, man. It's fucking awesome. Like it's like to the average reader, it's nothing, but like to like us, it's like, oh my god, more tricks.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's weird because this series introduced a lot of characters that they give no background on, and then Marvel kind of just sort of reconned it, I guess. I don't really know what they did after this. They just sort of were like, "Oh, that's done." Yeah. But they didn't expand on it. I think they actually reconned it, and it's like, why? This was like, well, I guess they don't know. They don't know when they have something good. They kind of they shit on it as soon as it sells. So
yeah, it was modern day Marvel. I mean, they were beginning to fuck shit up. Like that. This is what they should have been playing off of. I mean, especially the quality of art. I mean, you should have been like, all right, this is selling. We need to get more artists in like this kind of style and carry this on. That's an awesome gesture.
I was just gonna say that how fucking powerful that is.
Yeah, look at that.
That's the beefiest Nightcrawler you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, he's jacked up.
My eyeballs tell me that's Beast as soon as I see it every time.
Yep.
And then you see the tail and you're like, oh wait, never mind.
Red word bubbles. Did we miss that?
Bubbles.
Bubble. Oh, here.
Oh, balloons.
They're a little bit. They're kind of reddish. They got a little bit of purple to it.
Yeah, I think that's just to sort of show her, like, what's the word? Omnipotence. It's a device.
Feminism.
Yeah, more powerful than everything that's a man.
Right.
There's your bamf.
There it is, one.
Like this.
It works too. It looks nice.
Yes, Steve did a great job with the colors here. I mean, especially with fire. I mean, this book just, I mean, you can see it on the monitor, but like just even in real life, I mean, it radiates light. I mean, like the way he did it, just looking at it, you can just feel the intensity of the heat and whatever else you have. It has some explosions back here. I love a colorist who can really bring out that in comics. Dudes, I would love to work with him one day. One day.
Well, he colored a cover for
Catapano.
Oh man, yeah. He colored the Canaan White, I think, cover.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, did a fantastic job on that too. That looks awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. So
Who do
There
you
might
have
be-
to blackmail to get that to happen?
the sky is the limit, Joe. I'm just saying.
I don't mind reaching out to people. I'll figure it out. You know, maybe
Yeah.
book 2.
I'll suck your dick for a cheeseburger.
I love the Superman pose there with the Sentinel. Kind of gives him a little bit of a attitude and life or personality than what a normal Sentinel would have. He did a great job with the Sentinel character in general, just kind of giving him his own character instead of just
Yeah, he went full Iron Giant on that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Superman. I love that movie, man. Made me cry.
Yeah.
It's one of the few cartoons that actually made me, well up a little bit. I might have shed a tear. I'm not gonna lie.
And we were 37.
That's right. Yeah,
Did you shed a tear right there?
I did.
I always cry.
There he is.
He's a cool ass
It's like-
character.
It's like watching Spock die, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, let's not bring that up, please. It's hard.
Well, they did a great job with this, building up this character
Mhm.
and making you like him. And Sylvester did a great job of drawing how he's very animated. He became a very emotional character, and then you kill him off. And the scene here where I can't remember what the dude's name is, but he's just reacting to it. I mean, it's all good. It's a very emotional scene.
It's basically the kid from Iron Giant. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's not about him.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Dumb human. You're not even a mutant. Get out of here.
Yeah, right here. I mean, like this.
I love that hand.
That scene is.
I'm just going to point out in the floppies,
Mhm.
that's a panel. So those panels on the right, this is not the actual spread of these 2 pages in the flop. I'm just pointing this out.
Really?
And I think they did it because of the pages that follow. Yeah. So those 2 panels on the right are. I'm pretty sure they're below the panel. The slash.
Here?
Yeah, and that they blew that up. Yeah.
No shit.
Oh,
Yeah, because I have all the floppies of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to. Yeah, I gotta find the floppies of this because I still have not. I don't have a single floppy of this. This is all I have.
It's just one of those things that I caught. When I was going through the trade. I bought the trade so I wouldn't have to use the floppies.
Right.
Honestly, as reference. Yeah.
Nightcrawlers are so dope in this. Yeah, I mean, Mark was having fun with them. Silvestri's classic Silvestri Wolverine. This issue.
Can you imagine if he had the Joe Weems or a bat on Wolvie? You would have had the Wolvie there on the bottom. That would have been the Wolverine that he would have been pumping out if he had those guys as anchor. And that's my point of
he might not have left that book if that was the case back then. Like that would have blown up. If that,
yeah. Because his pencils weren't very different, honestly. To me, my eye tells me they're very similar.
And you can tell he's going more Hugh Jackman because the X-Men movies had just come out at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Controlling his hair style a little bit and
Yeah.
doing a little bit more of the facial. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely went a little more Paul Mitchell ads.
I absolutely love this panel right here. For one, the ships are just awesome, and Furcad does a great job of bringing it out color-wise, but I love that this ship is completely silhouetted, and it really just pushes your eye this way and really pops out this. So, I mean, it's one of the, that's the kind of thing that I'll geek out about when I'm looking at stuff like that. Like,
yeah, and it's great because like when I look at your pages, Joe, like your storytelling is strong because of this. Like when you first showed me your stuff, I'm like, oh, he's at the school of Silvestri. You're making it work, like it's awesome. So this is a great aesthetic that I see in your stuff. I'm like, yeah, he knows how to tell a good story.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And yeah, I try to study the best, and like I make no bones about it, man. Silvestri is my favorite. And Silvestri, Dale Keown is like 1A, and then I can kind of interchange the rest of the top 5 if I want to, based on how I feel at a moment. But those 2 guys are usually right up top. And Silvestri will always be my favorite forever. I mean, the dude is just inspirational. This is, man, look at that form. Love that figure. I mean, it's just power. Just the way he's got it twisted and Man.
I love it, but it's like we're a bunch of wild and crazy guys. Hey.
So there was quite a few cosplays of that. I'm just putting that out there in the chat. So if you use Google, you can find it. That exact version of yes. I'm just letting you know. Anyways,
find that. Somebody find that. If Silvestri had Weems banning back on Wolverine, he probably would have debuted with Ripclaw instead of Cyberforce. Yeah, Ripclaw was always an awesome character.
Yeah. Yo, trying to figure out how to draw his hands at first, because when he first drew him, it looked like they were kind of clumped up, as blades. But then when he's like, oh, they're more like T-1000, that makes sense. That was easier for a kid to draw, or wrap around your head.
AAT of fire. Absolutely. Sick. No, it's a great perspective or shot there. That down shot.
Yeah, he's got the layout in the back of the book, so you can see that it was flipped.
Forgot about that. And the giant face panels that he actually really, I know he kind of stole that from Liefeld a little bit, but he leaned into that a lot in his work, and he does it great. He does some really big faces very well.
Mm-hmm. That's a good difficult shot right there too of Phoenix. The those up the nose shots are hard to draw.
Oh,
like to get them right.
Yeah, because they can look so silly.
Yeah, if you do the nose placement wrong, you're gonna have Peppa Pig going on right there. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Oh. I swiped that when I was younger. In this book, I'm going to show you. I've never shown anybody this before, but
I'll sell somebody my copy for $1 million.
Oh, the note.
I didn't trace it or anything, but I looked at it for reference.
It's still fine. It's still fine. Yeah. You know what? Because Mark's drawn that panel 900 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that's. He wasn't breaking the mold of a common shot for Mark.
It's a little more of a not a button nose, but more of like what Campbell would do with his Abby, whatever her name is, Danger Girl.
Mm-hmm.
With Silvestri's aesthetic.
Yeah, Elliot's right. You need to re-release the first Reaper Destroyer as like an add-on, like an unofficial, like uncanon edition of the first look.
I'm thinking about doing it. I just got a brand new scanner that's awesome. I'm in the process of scanning this entire thing because I don't have any of the original.
The original files
you need anymore.
You need to do that.
And I'll see what I can do. But yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. I think I'm going to, because it's only 12 pages and it'd be something fun to do. There's something about the 90s. I love the way that Jim Lee used to draw this kind of like throwing of the hand. Silvestri does a great job of it too. You don't see a lot of it these days, but there was something that's super dynamic about it back in the day when they used to do it. Something about the hand. It's just, I absolutely love it. It's hard to do too. I mean, like, that is not an easy hand to draw in that kind of style. Yeah. And like keep the arm behind it, and connect it to the body.
He did something smart there, which is also a trick that I actually have done in Rage Tally War, where you have the fingers running where you don't have to draw them all the way. You just kind of indicate it.
Yep.
I'm just saying it's to sell the shot, because people looking at that they're gonna finish the drawing in their head.
Yeah. That's a great point. Like, I've even heard Jim Lee talk about that before with certain lines, like when he's drawing eyes or something, he won't connect lines because the eye will automatically finish it. But that shot right there is
powerful.
Yeah.
Look at those traps, dude.
I was just gonna say the anatomy, man, is out of this world, but it looks sick as hell.
Yeah.
It doesn't look real. Okay. It's not real anyway. It's comics, nerd.
Yeah, I don't ever want it to look real. If that's the cool shit we're getting, Kiddo got a hold of my phone, digging the show. Joe, Sean, Shelby, love you guys. Got to put the kiddos to sleep.
All right,
Long live
Frank.
Silvestri. Hell
Have a
yeah.
great brother.
Frank. Oh, is that a Texas Frank? That's Texas Frank.
Yeah, Frank, I just sent out the books today. You should be getting them hopefully next week or so.
Oh yeah, looking forward to Type 1.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
plugging
the
it.
shit, everybody. It's gonna be the
Good to
shit.
see you, Frank.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just man. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've looked at this book. I'm also
That dude's, that dude's face. It's so bizarre. I love it.
There's another staple upshot. This Silvestri is just solid at doing those. Male, female, didn't matter.
Yeah.
Hands, man. Look at the hands are super cool. I mean, Silvestri draws some of the coolest looking hands.
He just draws everything cool and perfect.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to learn how to draw,
It's
just
sickening. It's
study
sickening.
him. Yeah. Nobody else. Well, maybe a couple of the guys, but
The one and only Shelby. Thanks, Sean. Looking forward to it.
no, thank you. I appreciate that more than you. Yeah, thank you so much. Honestly.
And then
Hey,
wrapping up.
head back a few pages real quick.
Yeah. Which one do you want?
The one of Beast looking all weak. So
Oh, this one.
okay, so the thing that bugs me about this, right? Okay, so like you go to the panel above it, basically she exercises from him that smart bacteria, right?
Right.
And then you see there he's like all weak, and he's like, oh, and I can't see either now, oh, and he's putting his glasses on, like being all apologetic, right? There's the panel on the very right that you don't really see what happens. He loses his fucking head, like that thing's hidden.
Oh, he does. Yeah. Somebody decapitated.
Yeah.
He got decapitated.
And then it ends up being the guy that he always promised to complete them, and
The
then
beast
he
is
never
dead.
did. Right? Ah!
Whoa.
Yeah. It's such like a weird like an outro for like the length of the story that it went, and then it's just like this quick,
Yeah, you're right. Just
Little
tiny little
thing.
page. Yeah, tiny little
super
panel.
fast closure. It's like
It must have been plotted by Snyder.
All the phoenixes, the phoenix eye, the phoenix eyes, the phoenixes.
Phoenixy
Great,
Warriors.
another silhouette shot down there. It's just awesome. Helped by the colors, absolutely, but just so well done.
he sells it with the elements too. It's not a stagnant shot. If you look, you can feel the wind in that. There's leaves. The jackets are like you can see there's wind, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that Arthur Soydum told me years ago. We were just kind of talking about art stuff, and he said that any artist, no matter, like he was telling me, he's like, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are, if you can romanticize it and be consistent, you'll always sell. And I thought that was like great advice. And what he means by that is bring the elements to the table. Bring the elements, wind, water, sound. There, when you have dead air, that's when you have. I mean, really, Sean, it's like the Youngblood one. The whole book is dead air. It's even the characters that are moving.
Yeah.
He's selling you the character, right? It's not the environment. Like hair's not blowing this way, and all that.
Yeah.
So. And obviously, he brought that in later when he was more comfortable drawing all this stuff. But that's the little things like that. They pick it up, man. They pick it up.
Truth.
The leaves don't float.
Mm-hmm.
Only in love.
It looks cool though. That's the romanticizing the page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and again, that's just a great shot to end on. Again, with the leaves and attitude and atmosphere of the so again, I highly recommend this to everybody.
He loves it.
I love it. Some of my favorite work that he's ever done.
I got pages in Ragetality of like newspapers kind of blowing here and there. No one reads a freaking newspaper, and it's in the future. I just did it because it looks cool. You know what I'm saying? It's a comic, dude. Like no one's reading newspapers.
That's right.
Yeah. It's all digital. Everyone's on their phone.
Yep. Yes, whatever you can do to give movement and energy to a page. Yeah. So yeah, this is. We got the script in there. This is good. If you can find this. Originally, it was $11. Wow. $11.
I got this for like 40% off or half off when I was either at a con with Mark or at Mark's store, Stormwatch Comics.
I got mine for $5 at a show.
Makes sense.
Nice.
They had a 4 for $20.
Ooh.
Then the last thing I wanted to look at was this from Messiah Complex, and it's cool. It's Silvestri, but it's not compared to what we just saw.
Yeah.
And the colorist is Frank Diamarta, if I pronounce that right. And I don't like how he colored. There's just
that colorist is the colorist that colored. That's the colorist of Moon Knight when Dave Finch relaunched Moon Knight. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and I actually like the Moon Knight colors.
Mm-hmm. Same palette, same colorist. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I just didn't. There's something about this one I just didn't quite like. In general, I mean, altogether.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, Shelby about Balsadua about Ebas.
Just say Ebas.
Ebas, maybe finishing some stuff. I mean, look at this. To me, that doesn't look like a Silvestri face on Cyclops there.
That's why I said if it looks effeminate, I question it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that Xavier right there.
Yeah.
That does not feel like Mark to me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's definitely a finisher situation. Even right there, like Wolverine's face. It's like
Will Tyler.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe some Kirkham in there. It might be. Yeah.
See, it's funny because with this,
the layout screen, Mark. Yeah, if you look at that car angle and all that, that's totally Mark. The female bodies in the middle there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like this definitely screams like Mark flexing, and then this kind of seems like it's going back to the
paying the rent,
the assistants. Yeah, getting a lot of the assistants to finish out the.
That's his accidentally said yes to something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick because that's something that I always noticed. Like, I remember not liking this as much.
I like the colors.
I mean, that definitely to me looks like Ebas.
Mm.
I mean, just the way. I mean, you look at Ebas, his art nowadays and everything he's posting on Instagram, the eyes and stuff. I mean, like, could have been laid out by Silvestri and just.
I think he definitely did the layouts at the least.
Yeah.
It would be kind of funny though to find out that it was 100% Mark. That would be weird.
Yeah, he could have been just trying something new.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I think my brain would melt.
Yeah.
Ebas confirmed it to a buddy of ours.
Oh, did he?
Did he? Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, sort of like who's it? Capullo accidentally, Batman Spawn was Capullo's first work for Todd.
Right.
And he has no credit. Like that cover piece he did was Capullo, and then like he didn't sign it, so like Todd took all the credit.
Oh, bug.
Really?
Mark.
I didn't know that.
The one where they're both jumping on sideways. Yeah, that was Capullo's like first thing that he did for Todd. Apparently.
No shit.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He'll sign the book. He'll actually sign it, but he's usually like.
That
it was under the table.
You just shattered my whole world with that. The Matrix just became visible to me. Grass doesn't just fly away, but it looks dope.
Water is wet.
Make something look cool in comics, like that's what I think is cool about Comicsgate and what we have, the creators and artists and stuff we have here is you're getting back to the let's make it look cool about comics again. Owls, 4 owls. Oh.
No one had nothing to say about my shirt?
It's shoes?
It's a Ramon shirt. I'm just...
Oh, okay.
I like it. It's not black.
Yeah.
I only have like 2 or 3 shirts that are not black.
Yeah, you have one red one.
That's a good point. Yeah, me too. Like,
I got a red, blue, and a green. This is an armed military green. Yeah.
Okay.
I think somebody would not know what to do if I showed up with a different color than black on. Yeah, that's for sure. Now, where is that?
Yeah. Walk.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime
yeah.
in I don't know, with 2023, we might get one.
You think so?
A preview
No.
and then coming
No.
in 2035.
I think it's going to be an IDW artist edition with no lettering.
I'll take
That's
it.
what I think.
I mean, I'll still take
Oh,
it.
I will too.
As long as it comes out, that's all I want to see. Because I'm at this point, I'm starting to worry that it's never going to come out.
I think I first heard about that in like 2012, 2011 or something like that.
Thank you, Robert.
That it was going to.
Yeah, he had pages with them at that amazing show. The one that I got okay, so get this. The one that I got this signed at was the same weekend this came out, where he did this cover, right?
Yeah.
So I bought an extra copy of this and had him sign it. I got it graded too. But he was already working on the Batman book when he did this cover. Let me tell you, I can tell you the date right here. Hold up. You guys ready? Let's see this. He was 6 pages deep. He told me he was 6 pages deep.
At that point?
When this 2013.
Oh, shit.
This is 2013, and he was already 6 pages into the Batman book, and this was one of the pieces that he did, and they used it for the black and white relaunch. Yeah. So we ain't never getting it, guys. Let's move along.
It's one of those things that's just going to be a myth. It's just going to disappear into myth when it comes. Yeah, it's just
it's. I've told people I call it the Chinese democracy of comics, dude. It's like that Guns N' Roses album that took a decade to finish, and then it was like not good. Except Mark's will be good. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's.
Well, you're right. It's going to take forever. I mean, next year is going to be damn near 10 years, if that's the case. If he was 6 pages in 2013.
Yeah, he stopped taking commissions. He stopped taking commissions because of it, because he was taking so long on it that he was like, no. I hit him up for a cover. I asked his wife. I kept in touch, and she's like, oh, we might get you for what did she say, 2018? I was like, oh, that's in 5 years.
Yeah, I wonder what happened if it was something with DC direction in the storytelling, because that would have been during the 52 era. And
it's a black label book.
Yeah.
It's a black label book. True. It's a standalone. Yeah. If you guys want, I'll tell you what it is. I know the story.
Well, I knew
it's a Joker story.
I was just saying, I knew it was with the Joker
kind of.
and him, Batman and Joker team up or something like that. Like I had read something that Silvestri had put out the premise of the book at some point, but
there's a Terry in their life.
Yeah. There's going to be action figures and stuff if it ever does happen.
You've got me to buy like 10 trade paperbacks I've never seen. I need to hit you up for more advice on stuff you might think I'd like. Nice.
Bean World.
What is it?
Bean World. You'll love
Bean
it.
World.
Bean World. No, yeah. Bean World.
Chauncey said, I love and hate Mark for teasing those Batman pages. Yeah, when he released those like a year or two ago, especially like the color, what was going to be the cover or whatever, you're thinking like, yes, here we go. It's right around the corner, man. Like it's good. And then nothing.
Yeah, Chauncey,
such a tease.
Chauncey at our 25th Extreme anniversary, Matt Hawkins was there, and he had his phone. So Matt was flexing. He's drinking. He's like, here, check these out. So he pulls up all these Mark pages, right? These aren't posted Mark pages. They're double page splashes. And I was like trying to send it to myself on his phone. I'm like, I'm sending this to myself. This is sick. That's awesome. There's double page. And you know Mark's thinking himself on it.
Billy, don't.
That's what I really
dude,
like.
Don't.
I'm joking.
Billy,
don't do it. Don't do it. Get Weapon Zero. Weapon Zero.
There's double page spreads in this Batman book that Mark did that are like Bernie Wrightson level insanity. And I'm like, dude, and then Matt said he goes, yeah, he's only like halfway done with it. And that's when I flipped on him. I go, dude, he showed me pages like 4 years ago. Why is this thing not finished? Like that's only 6 issues. And Matt said that he uses so much whiteout. He goes, he'll draw a whole face and use these things to white it out. He goes, you take your hand over it. He goes, it's like mountains and ridges. So every single original, he said, is layered. There's so much whiteout on every panel. Yeah. And I was like, he just needs to stop doing that. He just needs to get us our damn book.
Yeah,
Get us our bookmark.
That's all I want to say. At least one. You know, is there one done? Put one out there. I don't even care if the rest are like 2 years later.
Just
give me one.
Just put them all out as is, and just stop working on it, please. Just right now.
You just as is, yeah.
No lettering, no colors, no none of that.
Yeah, stop trying to give us Cowboy Cyberforce. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, because the stuff that he has put out, yeah, it's absolutely awesome. It definitely has that like Wrightson kind of feel. You know, he's really leaning into not a lot of solid blacks, a lot of line work.
So you guys know, I did hit up. I would say he's being honest. I hit up Matt about a month and a half ago, and I had asked him, because you know how they keep doing all these crowdfundings for like Witchblade and Darkness and stuff. Yeah. I said, if you guys are smart, you're gonna do a Cyberforce one, but do the original mini and then like Mark's run up through like Finch. And he said, already on it. So I guess they are going to be doing a crowdfund for the Cyberforce Omnibus.
Sweet.
Nice.
Well, they need to.
For me, nice paper. That's what I'm like, nice paper, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd back it, you know, especially get some new covers by Silvestri. But the fact that that's all that Top Cow's got going for them right now that's any good is reprinting their old stuff, you know, and putting them out in Omnibus.
Aspen? I mean, it's the same thing, right? Like Top Cow and Aspen, they know that that's what sells. Like this new stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like sometimes I forget the Aspen's even around. Still, doing their thing. Like once Mike passed, it was kind of
Kickstarters. I think
they've done all their stuff on Kickstarter. Yeah, all their stuff has been Kickstarter.
It's one of the few things on Kickstarter that I'll back is the stuff that Top Cow will put out.
Yeah, I got a buddy who buys multiples and he sends me a copy.
Nice. I backed the volume 2 of the Darkness. I got volume 1 of the Darkness behind me. Add that to the collection. But basically, it's because I'm a sucker for new Marc Silvestri art. So you put some stuff out there, you know, especially with Brian Valenza right now, coloring him. Fucking looks dope as shit, you know.
It's a good match for his style.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It is midnight. I gotta get up for work in the morning. Yeah, that went fast, but yeah, thank you for being here for another Appreciating Comic Book Art live series, looking at my favorite artist of all time, Marc Silvestri. We got some big Silvestri fans on the panel here, especially Shelby, diving into some really good commentary on his work. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for everybody that's stuck with us the entire time, and anybody that just popped in, and anybody that's going to watch this on the replay.
And TM had to go to bed 10 minutes into the show.
Yeah, he didn't stick around very long, did he? Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. He's young. He'll stay up later and later once his parents allow him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Snuggie. Appreciate it.
Snuggie.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it, guys. All right, Billy. All right, everybody. We'll probably be back again next Tuesday. I'm gonna try to do these fairly regularly, but if something comes up, you know, who knows? It just depends on the guests I can get along to talk about the artists I want to talk with. But tomorrow on Art and Stuff, Sean, what do we got going on?
Edwin the Ace going to be on. We're going to talk about him closing out his campaign. And then Shelby's going to join us, and Eddie Winkler and Mark Polton. And we're going to talk about pretty much like fulfillment and what you should do and what you should like for
get
your book out there. And that's the topic.
I might run a little late tomorrow. Just my daughter has dance, but I'll be on as soon as we're home. Yeah, as soon as we're home, I'll be on.
Yep.
Right. And Type 1 preview books are all out except for one, but that's for out of the country. But thank you everybody that spent hard-earned money plugging it.
Everybody back. Rage Tality's War. Shelby, what's going on with that, and what are you working on right now that you can tell us about?
Let's see. What can I talk about? Well, I wasn't able to talk about Godlike because I'm doing that supplemental.
It was at least announced that you were doing that, though, so we all know.
He told me not to say anything. Yeah, he told me not to say anything, so I didn't.
It's on the page.
Well, yeah, I would say he revealed it, so I think it's safe now.
Well, yeah, someone else told me, and I was like, "What? How'd you know?" Like, that was literally what I said. I go, "How'd you know?" Because like no one's supposed to know.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, no, just that. Frega's knocking out some stuff.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, Raciality. That's about it. Yeah, back Raciality Award.
There you go. There you go, guys.
3 times.
Do we? Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it now.
Back
Do
my
it now.
back my campaign. I'm gonna leave it in demand till right against the time where I gotta order. I mean, it doesn't make sense to pull it.
Yeah, leave it up.
Yeah, why not?
I have nothing else going until I start fulfilling, and I'm still working on it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Leave it up for that long.
Yeah.
For sure.
tell your friends, tell your moms, sisters, brothers, homies.
Everybody.
Tell your homies.
Tell everybody. And
Tell your mailman.
Tell them to get ready.
you can catch me here on Joe Sontag's channel. You can also catch me at On Stuff with Sean Ahrendt on Wednesdays and Fridays, except for this Friday. I'm taking this weekend off because it's my wife's birthday, and we are going to go out and have some fun. So tomorrow and then next Wednesday is the next time you'll see On Stuff. I'll be back probably next Tuesday with another Appreciating Comic Book Art live series. I don't know what artists I'm doing yet or who's going to be on. So just keep track of the Twitter. I'll update everybody. Also working hard on Reaper Destroyer right now with inks by Joe Weems and Matt Banning, who I just sent pages out to Matt today. So
Nice.
yesterday. So we'll see how that goes. Until then, everybody have a great day. Take care of yourselves, and remember.
Do you know who this is? Oh, this is Marc motherfucking Silvestri.